The COVID-19 pandemic has driven a massive allocation of resources towards producing solutions, from identifying life-saving medications tracking how the virus spreads and ultimately to preventing infection with vaccines. The results of the COVID-19 vaccine trials are starting to come in, and they're looking good. In the history of medicine, the quickest vaccine to have ever been developed took 4 years. This one came in 8 months. Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca are the most promising. On 9 November, Pfizer announced preliminary trial results showing that a vaccine it developed with BioNTech was about 90% effective. That was followed up 9 days later with final trial results and 2 months of safety data, indicating a 95% effectiveness rate. Meanwhile, on 16 November, Moderna announced preliminary results for its own vaccine, developed with the U.S. National Institutes of Health, which also indicated effectiveness of about 95%. On 23 November, the University of Oxford, in collaboration with AstraZeneca plc, announced interim trial data from its Phase 3 trials that show its candidate vaccine, ChAdOx1-CoV 2019, is effective at preventing COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2. Efficacy ranged from 62 to 90%. So in this video, I discuss about the basis of Pfizer and Moderna coronavirus vaccines and how it works. Click subscribe and like. The first idea that you should know. This vaccine has the potential to protect many people from this devastating virus. When it is said that a vaccine is 90% effective, this means that if 100 people received the vaccine and were then exposed to the virus, 90 would be unlikely to get sick, while 10 would be at risk of still developing the infection. Fortunately, protection from vaccines is not all or nothing. These 10 individuals could have milder disease than someone who did not receive the vaccine. So let's start first by just know the Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine. Pfizer started their study on July 27, 2020, and Moderna started theirs on April 29, 2020. These studies have a very large amount of participants. In the Pfizer study there's approximately 44,000 participants, and then in the Modernist study it's approximately 30,000. The Pfizer jab is a messenger RNA (mRNA) vaccine. Conventional vaccines are produced using weakened forms of the virus, but mRNAs use only the virus's genetic code. An mRNA vaccine is injected into the body where it enters cells and tells them to create antigens. These antigens are recognized by the immune system and prepare it to fight coronavirus. No actual virus is needed to create an mRNA vaccine. This means the rate at which it can be produced is dramatically accelerated. As a result, mRNA vaccines have been hailed as potentially offering a rapid solution to new outbreaks of infectious diseases. In theory, they can also be modified reasonably quickly if, for example, a virus develops mutations and begins to change. The Moderna jab is also an mRNA vaccine. Final results from the trials of Moderna's vaccine suggest it has 94.1% efficacy and 100% efficacy against severe COVID-19. Nobody who was vaccinated with the vaccine known as mRNA 1273 developed severe coronavirus. Moderna said the trial results indicate the jab is generally well tolerated with no serious safety concerns. The U.S. company is in the process of seeking regulatory approval for its vaccine with regulators across the world. If approved for use in the UK, it could be rolled out in the spring. Pfizer's vaccine must be shipped at -70°C, -94°F, colder than average winter temperatures at the South Pole. Moderna's needs to be kept at -20°C, -4°F, roughly equivalent to the temperature of the home freezer. Pfizer has developed its own shipping containers that keep its vaccines at -70°C for up to 10 days. Otherwise, keeping the vaccines cold for a longer period of time requires an extensive network of airport freezer warehouses, refrigerated trucks, and on-site freezers that can cost up to $10,000. The beginning of the end. Should we expect the pandemic to be over once a vaccine is available for public use? Not exactly. A vaccine will not be perfect, and it takes time for the immune system to be ready to protect us. In addition, it is possible that the vaccines will be less effective than cited. Clinical trials are carefully set up, but it is possible that the virus will have evolved enough since the vaccines were designed, so they will provide less benefit. It will also take time for enough vaccine to be made and administered for the population to achieve herd immunity. Masks and social distancing will still most likely be necessary throughout 2021. Because it takes time to accomplish such large-scale projects. We cannot expect herd immunity from our neighbors getting sick to get the world back to normal. Even while neighbors are receiving vaccines, the human cost is unacceptable, and the virus is too infectious for this to produce meaningful results unless 67% of the population is infected, with a lot of people dying up to that point and afterwards. We are in a scary time. But have reason to have hope. The news of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines is good news and could potentially bring the world back to something more normal. We must not forget that it will take time and all of us working together. Masks and social distancing are a reality right now and will remain so until at least next year. We must persevere with these measures even when we find them frustrating. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we can all reach it if we work together.
Fearless.